Hey guys, welcome to the Geedunk. We just saw Matrix Resurrections.
Yeah, we did, everybody. And is this the kind of resurrection that this franchise needed, or should this movie have been left on a cutting room floor? Stick around, because we're about to find out.
All right, Billy, let's get into it. Matrix.
Yeah.
Who's in this?
Matrix. So we got Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne reprising their roles as Neo and Trinity.
Good to see them again.
Right? Yeah. We got Yahya Abdul-Mateen coming in as the new Morpheus.
Mm-hmm.
And I say
no Lawrence Fishburne.
And I say new Morpheus because he kind of is a new Morpheus in this, right? So
there you go.
He's not supposed to be the old Morpheus. Yeah,
Yep.
They kind of throw that way in this movie. Make it a little difficult to understand, but you kind of got to follow along to get it.
We got anyone else in this?
We got
Christina Ricci.
Yeah, we got Christina for
Haven't seen her in a bit.
About 10 seconds, right? We got some Jada Pinkett Smith back here, looking like she's about 90.
Yeah.
Did a good job aging her up. And we got a couple other people.
All right, so we're going to get into spoilers. It's on HBO Max. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. What is your history
or
with...
should you? Just you better wait to hear this review first.
What is your history with The Matrix?
I tell you, man, the first one was mind-blowing, right? I mean, I think everybody thought that about the first movie, right? Just freaking these brand new special effects they're bringing in there. You know, dude's dodging bullets. You're like, oh, check it out. Freaking, he knows Kung Fu, in like 2 seconds.
I saw this in 1999 when I just got into the Marine Corps, and this blew my mind with the bullet time, the spin-around camera, the premise of The Matrix. I mean, we all sometimes feel like we're in a robotic kind of world, and this movie just like made it a reality.
Got your mind thinking, man. Yeah, absolutely. And then they kind of went downhill a little bit with 2 and 3, but they weren't horrible, right?
2 got a little too much philosophical and stuff,
exactly.
and I think it confused more people than like explain things.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then 3 was what it was.
Yeah,
right?
the Zion thing, I was not really digging that.
I mean, it wasn't horrible, but I think they could have did a better job for The Matrix.
Yeah, I think part 3 is kind of the weakest of the 3, and I think that's most people's opinion.
Well, it was. Yes. It was. But the Wachowski sisters could top themselves every time. You know that?
So, what'd you think? We just saw it, so I'm still like processing a little bit.
Yeah, man. I thought I wasted about 2.5 hours of my day, really. I mean,
wow.
Horrible movie, man. Freaking terrible. Terrible freaking movie.
Let's get into the good stuff first.
Number one, the stuff that we were like, holy cow about in the first one, you don't see none of that in this one. Like,
we're trying to get in the good stuff, man. The good stuff.
Yeah, well, the good stuff from the first one was was like you just said, man, the gun time, the fight scenes, all that. The fight scenes in this just seem slow. And, and it's like, man, for all, talking, 20, 30 years later, we got much better special effects now. And where are they at, man? Because I ain't seen them in these fight scenes.
So I guess we're going with the bad stuff.
Yeah, we're going with the bad stuff, man.
I was kind of surprised that...
fight scenes are horrible.
The Kung Fu, everyone knows The Matrix for Kung Fu, so I was really looking forward to, can't wait to see what they do today. And we've seen the Marvel movies, the Winter Soldiers and stuff like that, that's doing, a lot of hand-to-hand done pretty well. And I was kind of disappointed in this one.
I wasn't kind of disappointed, man. I was super disappointed. And then even the dumb little clips Neo makes, I know Kung Fu again. It's like,
This movie is a big retread of the original almost. They're going down memory lane with all that all over again.
Yeah, and that was the best parts of the movie was the flashbacks, the flashbacks of the first one. Because the rest of it was not good. I could not believe, I was literally watching this movie, wondering when it was going to end. I'm like, all right, when's this movie going to be over? Because I'm bored. It was boring all the way through. The few fight scenes that were in it weren't anywhere near as good as the fight scenes in the first movie. And, and then of course at the end, they just really screw the pooch on that one and just make you come on, man. Why the wokeness, people?
There's no new camera effects in this one, which is what the original kind of was known for, throwing something you've never seen before. This one doesn't do anything like that, and it actually doesn't try and get too fancy with it, I don't think.
No. And this one doesn't explain anything, right? This one throws new crap at you left and right, and it doesn't explain any of it. It doesn't explain why all of a sudden now Neo needs Carrie-Anne. Neo and Trinity need each other. to have all this cool freaking stuff going on, right?
I got some hell for saying I needed well, I didn't say it, but someone implied I needed a PowerPoint presentation for Dune. But this movie, I could really use one.
Right. Yeah, you definitely need some kind of explaining. It's like, Lucy, you got some explaining to do here because they just threw so much stuff at you that wasn't even in the first 3 movies, right?
For instance, Morpheus is like nanobots or something like that at this point.
Yeah, so Morpheus now is a computer program based off the real Morpheus because when the computers brought Neo and Trinity back to life, number one, Neo and Trinity aren't even completely real life because they're probably partially synthetic now, right? The bots brought them back to life, right? So they're partially synthetic. So, granted, they can say, oh, well, they use organic material to bring them back, whatever. They don't explain that.
No, they don't. They don't get too deep in too much stuff. No. And this is one of those movies I feel like I need to watch it multiple times to pick up nuggets. The only problem is I don't know if I want to.
Right? So. Yeah, it's definitely one of those movies, because there's times where we'll be like, hey, man, this is a pretty dang good movie, man. I mean, you didn't understand a lot, but yeah, let's watch it a few more times to see. And it's like, no, man, I ain't watching this a few more times. I'm upset I watched it the first time. I can't watch this thing again.
Well, the agents are kind of neutered in this movie.
Oh, dude, they dumbed the agents down so bad that just the regular freaking fighters are kicking their butts. It's like, what happened? They don't explain. And if something happened in the Matrix to dumb the agent, and that's funny too, right? The Matrix is supposedly upgraded, right? Like the agents don't have to freaking wear skins anymore. They can just stay in the normal, looking like normal people and all that. And there's supposedly so many upgrades in the Matrix, but why did these upgrades downgrade the freaking agents and make them just weak?
I think they were saying they were going for quantity over quality, but I just think that's a miss because that was what was so cool is the agents represented like you better run because you can't go toe to toe with them. Only Neo can do that, and that element is kind of broken now because the regular people in the real world can go into the Matrix and stand up to these agents.
Oh yeah, and they were blowing agents away, man. They were just running through them like nothing. It's like, dude, what happened? What happened to the agents?
And what do you think about Agent Smith? They might
as well be stormtroopers now. These agents, I mean, Agent Smith coming back. I mean. Sure, cool concept. I wasn't mad about that, but then just kind of the way it went down, it was just kind of like...
And he's very kind of mysterious, too. Yeah. We don't get a whole lot of explaining what his endgame is.
And how he survived, right? Because Neo destroyed him, right? At least we know that. At least they show us how Neo and Trinity came back to life, right? At least they show us, hey, the freaking machines brought him back to life. They don't show us how Agent Smith came back to life after Neo destroyed him. Don't explain anything about Agent Smith, how he ended up in this movie. Where he came from, nothing.
But they might, and see, this is where it's like they might because it might be like the counterbalance to Neo, and they need each other or something like that. I don't know.
But it still doesn't explain how he's alive. Because the thing is, and back to Morpheus, how he's not the real Morpheus. So evidently, what they did to Neo is when the machines brought him back to life, they made him this uber wealthy game developer. So they basically had him develop the Matrix into a video game. So his whole life he developed into a video game, so which is all code. So Morpheus was written as part of that code. So now this Morpheus is the new Morpheus, and somehow they're able to yank the code out and make the code hat take a red pill, I guess. And
I need Mr. DNA to break this down for me or something for Jurassic Park.
How they're able to bring code out now and do this?
It's complicated. You kind of roll with it. Some of it's not really that important to the main story, even though I'm sure a lot of people will dig into it and watch it multiple. This is what I'm talking about. It's kind of confusing. Maybe there are little nuggets that explain it, but you got to capture my interest first and foremost.
Yeah. Well, then they try to throw a little Transformers action in here, right? You got
because now some of the sentient machines are on the human side.
But they look just like the little robots and Transformers. They were the little buddies with the humans and stuff. And it's like,
I was kind of hoping for some kind of mind thing where it's like Inception, like the real world is still the Matrix and they dupe you or something crazy like that, but they don't go that route. No. Matter of fact, when they start getting into an interesting concept, because Jada Pinkett Smith's like, hey, we've been at peace, so you coming back, I don't know if I'm with that. And that's an interesting concept because it's kind of like Neo's all about Neo and Trinity, where she's like, I don't need all that. And that's interesting, but the movie goes toward that other side.
Right. And I got where she was coming from there, right? She said, hey, we've been living in peace, But
I was digging that aspect.
Right, and if that's the case, then hey Neo, just go get your butt back in the freaking pod and let us all live happy-go-lucky here. Yep.
And it's kind of weird too because Neo gets free, and his sole purpose at this point is free in Trinity. He doesn't even care at what cost, and everyone's kind of down with supporting this, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Right, even after Jada Pinkett Smith explained to him what's going on, look, you free Trinity, man, you kill tons of people, and And he's like,
she's like, at what cost? The cost of all these people? And he's like,
And then she's like, well, what volunteers are going to help? And everybody's like, we will. And it's like, what? Did
that part doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And the end, if you're at peace, like, why are you ruffling the robot's feathers here and causing chaos?
Yeah, man. And then the fact that what do they call him? The doctor. What was the doctor's name in this? Man?
The analyst.
Yeah, the analyst. The fact that he utilized what Neo can do, which isn't a computer program, right? And then all of a sudden he's like, haha, I made gun mode and bullet time in the Matrix now. So now I can freeze everything, including you. And it's like, well, how? Because that's what Neo is. Neo is the anti-Matrix. Neo controls the Matrix.
He can see through the code.
Right, he can see through the code and all that. So how can he not see through this bullet time? They completely dumb Neo down. I mean, ridiculously dumb Neo down in this movie. I mean, he's getting his butt kicked left and right, completely dumbed down. You know, and it's just...
I'm okay with that. The first movie, he's trying to get his powers back.
Not with what happens at the end.
But, yeah, I guess that is what they tried to do, show like a little razzle-dazzle with the bullet time, because the analyst can slow time down, you know, where he moves normal and everyone else moves slow motion, kind of like what we've seen in X-Men and movies like that, except not done near as well.
No, horribly done. And again, Neo, it's not supposed to affect him. He's supposed to just go right through all that crap, right? And Smith does, right? Smith does the end. It doesn't explain how the hell Smith's getting through bullet time and not getting affected by it. So it's like, okay, Smith can do this, who was kicking the crap out of Neo almost the whole movie, by the way. And then, you know, and he can escape bullet time, yet Neo, the one, can't escape bullet time now and can't, you know, really do anything. I mean, he was in a hard time deflecting bullets, right? Trying to stop bullets. It looked like he was straining big time.
And I felt like they overused that ability.
Oh, yeah,
like, that was like the one thing he could do is like have this force field to block bullets, and they use that like constantly on everything.
Well, where in the first movie, he's just like, the bullets just stop, right? And this one, he's like, you know, just like straining, you know, like he's about to take a dump on himself trying to stop these bullets, you know? And it's like, what is going on here, man? Where's Neo who can just be like, I'll calm Neo?
He's not the same, man.
Yeah, I guess not.
Rebooted.
Man. Yeah, it was horrible. Horrible. And then the very end, man, all of a sudden now Carrie-Anne Moss has Neo's powers to the point where she was actually freaking pulling his weight and like lifting him around, kept flying around. And at first I thought it was going to make it like, oh, Neo, you're not the one. She is. And Neo's going to be like, oh my goodness, it's you all along. It's you, Trinity. But no, thank goodness they stopped short of that. And finally, at the very end, you get to see him flying with her. But holy cow, man. Yeah. Horrible movie.
So you didn't like the ending, huh?
Didn't like any of it. The whole movie. I mean,
wow.
Probably the only part of the movie I liked was like I said, the flashbacks, a little nostalgia from the originals, and the fact where we just talked about where Jada Pinkett Smith brought up a good point. You know, she brought up a good point right there. Like, hey, Neo, we've been living in peace. You know, thanks to you, right? This is all thanks to you.
I had a hard time getting past that.
Right. This is all thanks to you. But now that you're back, it's going to throw a kink in everything.
They didn't sell me on why it was so necessary to have Trinity and Neo together.
No, they didn't.
Out of the Matrix.
Exactly. They didn't. And again, it was all Neo being selfish, really, through the whole movie.
And I also thought it was an interesting concept because she's like, we've been at peace. And then there's this like division that like, have we been at peace? Because they're still enslaving people, you know, and taking away their free will or whatever. Right. You know what I mean? And that's an interesting battle right there. But they don't explore that enough.
No, they don't. Well, then they don't explore it. They say that, hey, look, even the robots have been at war with each other, right? But they don't really go into that. They don't go into that either. So it's just they left so many. They brought so much new stuff. Didn't answer any of it. Left so many questions unanswered, and I mean, way worse than any of the first ones did. You know, I mean, the first ones you were excited to find out like what's next. This one I was like, nah, man, no. It was just horrible.
Yeah, and I don't think this is a horrible movie, but my expectations are through the roof because I really like the original Matrix, and I even like the second one probably more than most people. The third one I didn't really care too much for, so I was at least excited to see good action, and they didn't give that to me.
The action was horrible. Not anywhere near as good as the first movie or any other set.
It seemed like really slowed down. Like the kung fu stuff seemed really slow, and you're thinking like maybe it's because Keanu Reeves is getting older, maybe he doesn't have it anymore, but even the younger cast, it's real slow.
Dude, it was all slow.
It doesn't even seem like it has that much like weight behind some of the moves they're doing and stuff too. It was just
I tell you, you know what I did enjoy though? I tell you what I loved about this movie is the credits. I love the green. I love like the green rolling credits. That was cool.
They did look pretty, but
like whoever came up with that idea, they should just cast them, hire them to write and direct the next movie, and I bet they'll come up with something better than what Lana Wachowski came up with here. Because Lana Wachowski It was garbage.
It also seemed kind of dated that people have like SMGs shooting at close range and just missing kind of for no reason. Like that was cool in the original, but today you're kind of like, what's going on? They're not dodging it. They're just like running on the walls and they can't hit them, even though they're shooting like fully automatic weapons at them.
Yeah, they didn't have it.
So it just seemed a little dated to me.
Yeah.
Even though I know that's like the Matrix, but I was hoping they would do something to really wow me and like even be faster. Like this new generation of people can do like even crazier things in the Matrix. You know,
they didn't give me that. Like if anything, they dumbed it down. They dumbed down they dumbed Neo down ridiculously. You know,
and like mirrors now are like the gateway to get in and out of the Matrix, and doors now are like portals, I guess now. Right.
Well, and then again, with that being said, so at the end when Neo and Trinity are running through this building to get to the roof, how many bathrooms that building got? That building's probably got a crap ton of bathrooms.
They have time to run through the
all the way to the top.
All the way to the top, but they don't stop to think like we got to get out of the Matrix. Let's find a bathroom.
Yeah, can't stop one of the bathrooms, find a mirror, and say, "All right, buddy, pull us out." You know, it's freaking ridiculous. I was just like, what? And then, at the end, when they were just like kind of unplugging people and they weren't, it didn't show them going into a mirror. They didn't explain any of that. It was, or even the way they got Trinity out was a little weird. It was just like, how? Yeah, there were just so much stuff that was unanswered to this. Just didn't make no dang sense. And yeah, man, I was very, very disappointed in this movie. And I was bored almost all the way through it.
Yeah, I found myself kind of bored at times too. And I just found myself like kind of dismayed at how bad the action was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
When I was really like pumped, looking forward to at least that aspect.
Yeah, about 30 minutes into the movie, I was like, okay, I'm ready for this movie to end.
What did you think about the whole Matrix as a video game aspect to this?
I thought that was kind of cool. Like, oh, okay, cool. Keanu Reeves was a designer, and I guess that the bots pulled him out, and and gave him a good life like that, right? And freaking made him design the Matrix, and kind of and at the end of the day, it was kind of like an FU to him, right? Like a slap in his face, like, haha. Not only did we beat you, but now we've got you writing your own life here, and we're controlling it all, right? So I thought that was kind of a cool premise there, but it just fell flat, because the movie sucked. So
yeah, the video game, I was hoping it would go somewhere better than where it went, and I was really hoping they would really do something to surprise me, but it's kind of what you expect as far as the story goes. They didn't throw any kind of curveball at me.
It wasn't what I expected at all. I expected something a hell of a lot better than what they gave us.
Yeah, but I'm saying as it's presented, you kind of see where it's going.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So, I don't know. What do you rate this movie?
Dude, I'm giving this piece of junk a 3.
A 3?
3. Freaking horrible movie.
I don't know if it's that
horrible.
Bad.
Horrible movie.
A 3 is really down.
Yeah, dang right it's down. This movie's really down.
It was definitely not that bad to me.
Oh,
the reason why it's bad to me is because my expectations of the Matrix. So,
when that's it, right? My expectations of the Matrix are huge, right? Especially the first movie was amazing. The second two were still decent. And this one doesn't compare. And when you've got 20, 30 years worth of new technological developments, especially in the film industry, and the fight scenes and stuff are way better in the first one than they are in this one, that's a problem. That is a problem. 3. Horrible.
Yeah, I'm somewhere between a 6 and a 7 on this.
You're insane,
movie.
dude.
Yeah.
You're insane, man.
I mean, it's not that bad.
Yes, it was.
It's not that great either. So, yeah, I'll probably give this a 6.
You're being super generous.
Out of 10. No, I think that's kind of like where it lies. It's just it's an average movie to me.
This movie,
but it should have been great.
Yeah, it should have been great. Not the garbage they gave us. So, yeah. This guy's nuts, everybody. This movie's a 3. I don't recommend watching it, not even for free on HBO Plus or HBO Max, excuse me. I guess he recommends watching it a little bit, huh?
Yeah, if you're into The Matrix, you got to watch it. Hopefully you won't be as disappointed as we were, I guess, but
yeah, I tell you, I saw Rotten Tomatoes giving it pretty decent. Like I think the tomato meter is giving like 67, fan reviews giving it like 76. I don't know what movies y'all saw because it sure as heck ain't the one I watched. This movie was really horrible. All right, guys, that is our review of The Matrix. I wish it could have been better, but it wasn't, at least in my eyes. So, hey, if you like our reviews, please press like and subscribe, and we'll catch you at the next one.
Yeah, let us know what you think, and let Billy know how wrong he is.
Definitely let me know what you think, and say, you know what, Billy, dude, you were freaking totally right. This movie sucked. I mean, cause, that's what I'm waiting to hear from everybody on this one.
Well, we'll see.
All right, guys, later.
See you guys. This movie. I'm still processing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing Abdul-Mateen, man.
You got Yahya. You got Yahya on the brain, man.
Yeah.
I was hoping this would be better than Spider-Man, and Spider-Man blows it out of the water. Because, you know, they both are, like, playing on that nostalgia thing, but Spider-Man does it way better.
Oh, way better.
Way better. We're going to talk about the French dude being, like, Neanderthal or whatever.
Yeah,
he looked like Captain Caveman or something. Yeah. Like he's preparing for that role, like the snatcher from that. Come over here for a second.
Right.
I don't need anyone else to tell me what kind
sucked.
of movie this is.
I don't need you guys to tell me this movie sucked. All right? I watched it. How could Keanu Reeves, like, read that screenplay and be like, yes, I'm ready to make that movie?
Keanu Reeves don't care.
Wachowski sisters.
Is it Wachowski?
Red Faction.
Is it not Wachowski? Is it Wachowski?
Wachowski sisters.
I guess it is Wachowski.
Ms. Wachowski has chosen.
Wachowski? She said Wachowski, not Wachowski.
Wachowski. That's what good.
So has this then been lying to us this whole time? I thought it was Wachowski. I knew it! The internet's lying to me about the pronunciation. Why even have a thing that tries to pronounce it if they don't know how to pronounce it themselves? Am I alone? Matrix Resurrections or Resurrection?
What? The audience is giving us 76. What the hell is wrong with freaking people?
Well, you're gonna get a lot of hate. You're gonna have a lot of answering to do.
I'm ready for it.
Is it Resurrections or Resurrection? Spoiler alert.
This movie give me a res erection.
Spoiler alert.
Did this movie give me a res erection? Stick around. That would be awesome.
Are you drunk?
That would be awesome. Should I say that?
You already did. People like free movies.
So, well, we got to watch on HBO Max for free.
You
so.
saved me some money. Thank you.
Thanks, Wachowski sisters.